All right, you guys. Okay, welcome to our rank trip and soar call. You guys, I am so excited about this because these three beautiful ladies that are going to be talking tonight, they are like the quiet, like superstars of this team. I swear they're kind of like under the radar and because they're always just working, working, working. And they don't get enough praise. And I feel like that's my fault. And so I wanted to get all three of them on here tonight because they are seriously amazing month after month. Their sales are incredible. They're rank advancing. They're keeping their rank consistent. And so I wanted them to share what they're doing because they're just so good. And they're all three so sweet and so humble. And so first of all, I'm gonna have them just tell you a little bit about themselves and maybe how you got involved with Zaya, or how you started in Zaya, or what brought you to being a rep. So I'm gonna start with Rachel, and then we'll go Allison, and then Kelly. Okay, Rachel, take it away.
Hey guys. Okay, I have been a rep for 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years this summer. Started just out of a party. Megan was hosting a party my friend was having. I had never heard of Zaya. Seemed a little weird to me because it was just online, and I like to think of myself as, kind of up on the fashion and the fitness industries, and it was just not in my mind space. And so in the party, I ordered, kid you not, as sometimes I think we get frustrated with how quickly things sell or what's available or not. I ordered a pair of red Ascend leggings because that was the only pair of leggings in my size in the entire catalog, and a copper charged tank. And so Megan did her thing, and I ended up hosting my own party. And then I was a sucker for a good deal. And so I say I accidentally said yes because that was not what my intentions were. But somehow I ended up saying yes instead of no when she presented the offer, and here we are. So it's been great.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you. Allison.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I like to think of myself as, I don't know, Rachel, whatever she did, because I have never been in direct sales. I only heard of Zaya maybe in 2019 when I saw someone wearing something, but I couldn't even pronounce it then. And in 2020, I got invited to a party, and I was that silent person who just watched, and I didn't buy a thing. And I end up getting the metallic light and tight leggings. And so then I started to just wonder a little bit more. And I think, let's see, I have completed 2 full years with Zaya. And I was that person in a party. Rachel wasn't, it wasn't my party, it was my friend's party. And I remember she posted maybe the top 10. And I was like, is it crazy that I have this many? And then she just messaged me. And it probably took me a week or two, and I finally just said, okay. And I never intended to sell. I work out and run and do marathons and only wanted a discount. And so here I am.
Awesome.
The
I
discount.
love it. I love it. You're so cute too. I love it. Okay, Kelly, share a little bit about how you got started.
Yeah, so hi everybody. Megan, thanks a lot for inviting us all to speak. I was hesitant, but I'm here. So let's go. So anyway, I have been a rep for 3.5 years, you guys. Jesse Steens is my upline. We both live here in Maryville, and I'm an athletic trainer on the go all the time. If you can't tell, I talk really fast, but I am an athletic trainer, so I'm always on the go. And she said, you need to, think about having a party. I'm like, okay, I don't even know what you're talking about. And anyway, long story short, I ended up buying a pair of Everwear pants because they were professional looking and I could be functional and work with my athletes in them. And I bought every color. And so I became a rep for the discount because I kept buying the pants. And then I had a party, to obviously get some free and half off items. And it just kind of, honestly, I just thought, oh, I'll just try to have a party or two and see how it goes. And it just kind of went really well. So I decided to try it out as a side gig, kind of make a little bit of extra money and decrease some stress in the family that way, financially. And it's kind of gone really well. So yeah, I'm now 3.5 years in, like I said, and You guys, today, this is a big deal. It sounds like I'm bragging, but I had 350,000 PV today because of the amazing restocks, you guys. They were so good today. So I was really excited. So
Oh my gosh. And you are not bragging at all. I was just going to say how humble you were being because, okay, in 3.5 years, you did that. And you guys, Kelly has been in the top 10 of our Connect, Uplift, and Empower. I think I would have to go back and look every week since she's been a rep, or every month since she's been a rep, but I could 95% say that she has been in the top 10 every single month that she has been a rep. So when I say humble, this girl is super humble. She does not ever love to toot her own horn. She also was top sales of the entire Zaya company of over 60,000 reps, which is absolutely incredible. So, and again, these girls are just so humble. None of them said like what they've done or what rank they are. And so I'm going to toot their own horn. Rachel is an executive who in 2023, I don't know very many executives that were able to hit their rank, and she was able to rank as an executive. And that is a huge, huge thing in 2003 because being able to hit your highest rank was very, very difficult. And she also is always right up there in the top 10 for sales, super consistent with adding reps. She's already added 2 reps for this Puerto Vallarta, and she's right at 7,000 for the month of January here in 2024. And that is something that is continually happening month after month. So incredible job there. And then Allison is one of our very newest directors. We did not have very many directors rank advance in 2023, and she was one, and she went balls to the walls, and she is still going balls to the walls, and she is growing a team, and she's so stinking cute. She loves her Zaya, and she's sweet as pie, and they are just amazing. So we're going to dive right in. So, okay, I got to open up my questions here. So I'm going to start with Kelly. I'm going to go the other way now. So Kelly, just tell us how you've been able to stay sorry, you guys, how you've been able to stay consistent in your business, especially with your sales, you being top sales. Explain to us some tips and tricks and things you're doing to stay consistent.
yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of what a lot of people have said in all these meetings and discussions is like, I wear it daily. Like, I don't wear anything other than Zaya. You guys, I know that sounds silly, but I really don't because I don't have to. And so I wear it daily, and honestly, it sells itself. I share it daily. And I'll talk about struggles later, but like, I share it daily, like whether I do a post or whether I go live or whether I copy somebody else's post of you amazing ladies who post yourself and you look so cute. I'm like, they don't need to see me, they need to see them. And so I do that, and that really helps me a lot. So I wear it, I share it, and honestly, I focus on customer service in such a big way. I think it's really important to be honest. I think it's really important to be real. And I think it's really important to have a servant heart, right? So like in anything that you do, whether it's your job or whether it's a side gig or whether it's, whatever you're involved in, that you have a servant heart. And I think just giving really good customer service to people has probably been a key focus for me, and why my VIP group is so amazing, you guys.
That's awesome.
I can keep going. I can keep going, but I'll just stop it.
No, I love it. So just explain a little bit about your customer service, like what you're doing to go above and beyond for some of your customers, Kelly.
Right. So like, as far as shipping goes, I mean, that's a big deal. Something doesn't work for somebody, I cover their shipping, and I always have. And I think that that's been, and I understand that affects my, what I make. I get that, but I think that keeps people coming back. And once they figure out their sizes and where they're at, it's like a done deal, And so I always cover the cost of people shipping whenever they have to send something back. If they're local, they honestly drop it off in my mailbox or my front step, and I just take care of it for them because it's just easier that way than me having to send them all the directions on how to do it. And so I do that. I also, like, my restock list is ginormous, like so big. And so I really, really focus on, there is not a person that I hear, whether it's out in public or they text me or whatever, that says, hey, when this comes back, let me know. Trust me, they're going to know. And so that restock list piece of reaching out to them and letting them know that like this item's coming. I really appreciate Zaya being so good about doing that night before letting us know, because then I can contact them versus like just, it on a whim showing up at noon, anyway, that's been huge for my sales. And I mean, honestly, just checking in on people. The follow-up piece is so big. Like, they appreciate it so much if I just reach out to them. And the one thing I found that, like, okay, I always watch the tracking and see when people's, things are riding, but I always wait a couple days after because 99% of the time, nobody has time to try on stuff that day. So I wait, 2, 3 days, maybe a week later. And sometimes I apologize, you guys, I'm late on catching up and following up, but how do you like your item? And those follow-ups are so big because they appreciate it. And that leads to parties, and that leads to more sales, and that leads to put me on your restock list for this, and that leads to a lot of different things. So I think just being really good at that customer service and relationship piece, and not just making Zaya my everything. So like, I don't just talk about Zaya to people really ever. I let them bring it up. So like, that's one of my biggest things is like, I just don't try to push the product because I don't feel like I have to if I'm wearing it all the time. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just kind of my mindset that works for me.
I love it. Wear and share. That is for sure. And she is not kidding with the restock. She'll be like, you need to tell corporate that they need to get more of these because I have about $1,500 in sales for them. I love it. Okay. Allison, how about you?
Gosh, I really don't know if I have anything to add. I mean, Kelly, that's everything that I would have said. I do have a full-time job as well. And so it can be hard to manage that and do this, but I don't sleep much. And so one thing is I went through Teamsy last year, and that really kind of helped level set me and just find time throughout the day to send messages and follow up. And honestly, yeah, it's the only thing I wear. I work in an office, and I've got everybody who loves, and want to touch what I'm wearing, and I keep a restock list. And for a long time, I only run like a couple parties before October. I would only do like 2 parties a month, and I had that good of a VIP that was just buying. So yeah, show up, follow up. I'd say be consistent. I post about 3 times a day, and I schedule them just so, because sometimes at noon I have to message Rachel like, oh my gosh, something's came up, can you post for me? But yeah.
Love it. Perfect. That's what a team is for too, when we all step in and help each other out. I love it. Okay, Rachel, what about you?
For me, it's just having a mindset that there is no other option other than to just do it. Just having just that frame of mind that you don't even have an option to be inconsistent. That you set your mind and you're going to do it. And I am by nature a hot mess. I fly by the seat of my pants. I consider myself a total summer girl where I love the freedom and the flexibility, and every day is different. The non-routine of summer, like that is ingrained in who I am and always has been. But to overcome that, I have to create habits that become rhythms that I don't have to think about, because by nature, I'm a hot mess. And so if I can pick one thing and do that until it becomes consistent, then I can stack something else on top of that. We've probably all heard of habit stacking a little bit, and add something to that. So then what I'm doing and the way I run my business just becomes second nature. It wasn't for me. I was not a Facebook person. I kind of, well, I never posted, period. I was a little bit of a creep where I'd watch everybody else, but I really didn't even do that because I just didn't even like Facebook. I thought it was unnecessary. And so just the concept at the beginning of having a VIP group where, God forbid, I had to take a picture of myself and share it, just kind of became something that I started with. Just, that's got to be once a day, just so I could get in the habit of remembering to be in this group and remembering to do something. And then, it grew to twice a day. It grew to 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. And so whatever it is in your business, posting in your VIP, reaching out for parties, talking to people about the rep opportunity, I think it just needs to become second nature, because it's so much easier to stay on track when you have a track to begin with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love it. So good. And it's been awesome watching you totally grow from your first house party. I remember your house party.
I didn't even know you didn't live by me. You live like what, an hour and a half away from me?
Yeah.
I'm like, come do this with me. I have two things.
Yeah, it was so fun. And just how far you've come too. And you guys, when she says she was like new fashion, she is like a fashion. I mean, every outfit she puts together is so damn cute. So she looks so amazing in all her pictures. And I swear she posts a picture and people just are like, oh, bye, 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 because she looks so good in all of it. Okay, we are gonna move on to the next question. And whoops. And we'll start with Alice. Sorry, you guys, my screen just locked up. We'll start with Allison this time. Okay, what challenge did you face? It can be in 2023 or any time in your business, and how have you overcome that? Like, I know we always say that this business is like peaks and valleys, and when we're maybe kind of in that valley, how do you get yourself to push through that and stay consistent and move forward with your business?
I really had to think about this because I probably could come up with a couple, but one that really stuck out was probably summer, fall, in 2023, when I was just getting really frustrated with parties. I'm, like I said, I have a 7-year-old, almost 8-year-old. My job is a lot, and I believe in relationships and connecting, and was struggling in parties to connect with people. And I'd have, you'd get 40 people in a party. I'm like, I can't message all these people. I can't. And so I by nature like change. And so I'm constantly learning and constantly listening to other people, what's working, and just trying new things. Like, I'm not afraid to do that. And I came across Laura Brennan and listened to her VIP reboot. I didn't do anything with it, but it was the party one that really stuck me. And I hunkered down, listened to it, and then just turned around and implemented it right away. I'm kind of that person that wants everything perfect before I actually launch something, but I just did it. I was like, nope, I don't care. I'll figure it out. And my first party, I had like, I don't know, maybe 7 people at most, and connected with every single one, and 6 of them ordered. And I knew that this was more for me, where I'm more intentional with hostess coaching, and that wasn't something I was really doing at the front end. And now, I mean, I've just seen great success from it, and I probably won't won't go back. Yeah. And it was really mindset, because I was getting really frustrated. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to keep messaging people. There's got to be a better way. So yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, Rachel.
Okay. So when I thought about my challenge, really, like, 2023 was just in a ball of a whole thing of challenge, from all sides. I feel like both personally and professionally, period, was just a challenge. I had a lot of noise in 2023. I just was fighting a lot of battles. I was not in a good space. I was in a very toxic, to me, work environment. And that weighed heavy on me. I had things in my Zaya business that, I've done this for a while. I know that there are peaks and valleys. I know that there are seasons and there are ups and downs. A lot of it's cyclical. I understand all of that. But in the midst of everything, I wasn't hitting my rank and hadn't been hitting my rank. My party landscape was different. It wasn't as fruitful as it once was. I had teammates that chose to leave. I found myself just kind of mentally getting wrapped up in a lot of things that I couldn't control. I was listening to the noise. I was hearing, you're not good enough. Like, you don't have it anymore. You can't do this. You're never going to reach this. It was just really all of that kind of weighing very heavy, just in self-doubt. And I think that's, on whatever scale, I think that's something that maybe we all encounter along our Zaya journey in some way or another, because that's part of it, right? I just got wrapped up in a lot of stuff, like I said, that was even outside of Zaya, that was just not as it should have been. So for me, it was really just the whole concept of plugging in. I made my word for 2024 flip. I was going to flip the narrative. I was going to flip the thought, flip the mindset. and reach out, sidelines, uplines, other people that aren't even on like my immediate team. It was like, what are you doing? How are you doing this? And just to hear the validation of this is what's happening in her business, to know, well, that I'm doing that. So I am okay. Like I am, like it's there's others that are experiencing the same thing. It's having that sisterhood to know that people are beside you, to walk alongside of you and lift you up. It's participating, it's plugging in and participating. Zach's Mindset Monday calls, which if you're not listening to those, totally recommend those, just 30 minutes a week of just that little pep talk was absolutely incredible, because some of the battles that I was fighting with myself, you got Zach Bradley standing in front of the whole company saying, hey guys, we need to reset our expectations. We need to reset our framework and how we're measuring things, because it doesn't look the same today and over the last year as it did in the boom of COVID. And I was measuring myself and my success and my personal expectations to what was happening in March and April of 2020 and 2021, and the way that all, the whole landscape has changed a little bit. And so knowing and really just feeling the need for grace for myself, participating, getting involved, plugging in, but just remembering to give myself grace, because yeah, it's all part of the process.
Yeah. I love it. Love it. Plugging in is so, I'm so glad that you mentioned Zach's calls, because his mindset this week was so good. And he's going to talk a little bit about more of it on the all team call tomorrow. So if you didn't listen, get on that call tomorrow, because it was so good. And plugging in is so important. I know for myself too, when I always feel myself doubting or in that valley, and I plug into whether it's a training call or watching someone's party or just bouncing ideas off a downline, upline, sideline, I feel myself feel a lot better about where I'm at. So I definitely hear you on all of those points. So I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Kelly.
Okay, challenges. I just wrote down a couple that are really kind of hit me. When Rachel talked about, like, you question yourself and you wonder, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, is this really what where I'm supposed to be at in life right now? And I guess two things, and this one's really small, small, it's not as big of a thing, but in the business is like the platform piece. So like everything I do is on Facebook. I never even knew I knew what Instagram was, but I never had it, never dealt with it, didn't even know what it was probably 6 months ago. Okay. So like I just started an Instagram group, like not too long ago, I'll randomly put stuff on. I don't even know what I'm doing. And my point to that is like, I think people are like, okay, well, I need to have Instagram, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. No, you don't. Like whatever platform you feel like you're gaining and your people are there, that's, I think, fine. And I'm not trying to advise people on that, but for me personally, I will still post random stuff, I think, on Instagram till I either get really good at it or understand it more. But right now, Facebook is what works for me, and maybe one day it won't. But like, I just kind of like focus on that platform right now. And so that was a challenge for me, being like, gosh, I need to be doing all the things everyone's doing. And I'm not able to, because I don't get it. I don't understand it all. And I don't have time to understand it. And so anyway, that's just kind of like one challenge that I had to like really just realize, just, okay, focus where it's working and just go with it. And you'll find the time or figure out if you need to change. And I think that's part of being a good leader too, is knowing when change needs to happen, right? But that's a whole nother discussion. Okay, so then the next thing is the building the team. Okay, you see Rachel and Allison, and of course Megan, and everybody here really. You guys are so good at building teams. I'm not. I'm just going to tell you, I focus so much. Like I have like 4 or 5 people under me. They're not really, they just mainly for the discount, right? They're not trying to like build a team either. And I talk to them and I ask them, if you want to, I'm here for you. I will always be here. I check in and make sure that something hasn't changed in their life or where they're at. And obviously, let others know that are having hosting parties. You guys, if you ever want to consider repping this thing, let me know. I'll be here, but I'm not focusing on that enough, I guess, if I wanted to build a team. But I don't know in my life right now with 4 kids and my own business, and I'm the only one doing my own business and all the things, that I could manage that well. And so for me, the selling, the PV, the taking care of my VIPs really is really my main focus. And so I've always thought that that makes me a bad in this business. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So in my mind, that's been a challenge for me, is getting over the fact that, okay, Kelly, you can only do what you can do, and you have to figure out what your best yes is and all the things. So that's where I'm at. And again, that may change one day, but there you go. There's my challenges.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Which we all face those. Some of us are really good at sales, some of us really good at recruiting. So, and so we kind of have to find the balance of what works best for our business, and everybody's business is their business. And so they can choose to run it how they want, obviously. But we will keep pushing Kelly, because I know she can add more teammates. She has it in her. I know she does. Okay, you guys, I want you all three to give me so we just have 2 questions left for each of you. So first one being, what advice would you give reps here on how to best build their business? Let's start with Rachel.
Okay, I'm going to keep it super simple because, that's how I operate. We're going to quote Nike and just do it. I mean, just make up your mind that you're going to just do it, and you keep doing it. Something that I tell my team, I think I tell them like every April and May as we look ahead and think into summer, that a slow moving train is easier to get momentum and to push forward than a train that is completely stopped. And so just keep doing it. Just keep moving. Just keep your activity going, no matter what season of the year it is, no matter what the month is, no matter what you've got going on. Keep in that habit, keep in that rhythm, keep in consistency, and you will see your business continue to move forward, which is a whole lot easier than if you just put the brakes on and say, I'm going to put this down, I'm going to stop. It's not impossible to start back up. It's just, you're just making it harder. So keep doing it. And last thing, real quick, decide your why. Why are you here? What do you want to get out of Zaya? It's okay to be a consumer. What do you want Zaya to do for you? And tell somebody. Like, I'm not big on the whole vision board thing. That just, I don't know. I'm not arts and crafts, I guess. But tell somebody. There's so much accountability in speaking the words out loud that it's like, oh crap, now I just said that. I can't like embarrass myself and not do it, or I don't want to let that person down. They know, so why are you here? What do you want from Zaya? And tell it to somebody.
Love it.
That's it.
So important to know your why, for sure. Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. Allison.
I was going to say, just be consistent, just do it. I think that is the one thing, even if it's once a day, just be consistent in whatever you're doing, wear it, share it, and be excited about it. I think that is, this is why I go live, and I was scared to death to do it the first time, I remember. But that is where the connection happens with people you don't even know, and then you feel like you know them and they know you, and the trust is there. And yeah, the Isaiah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, I would just jump onto what they said, and just consistency is key. Follow-ups are huge, and get your parties going, because the parties are where you meet people and grow, and your VIP gets bigger. So
Yeah, absolutely. So parties are so key. So example, I just told myself before the end of the year, like in December, like I am going to like make it a point to just have as many parties as I can. Like when I first started, I was like, literally that's all I did. I was like, I'm going to have a party. I have to have a party like every single week, or I have to have this many a month. And I have that mindset right now. And I've had like the best month I've had in a long time. And it's truly because of the parties. I had a multi-level party with 5 people in there. I have another 2 parties going on right now. Like, it's all because of that momentum with the party. So I cannot stress that enough. So I'm so glad you mentioned that, Kelly. Like, it truly is like your new customers, your new reps, your sales, your more people that are going to join your VIP. It's all coming from that party. But you're not going to book parties if you don't ask. Like, ask, 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 ask. Follow up, follow up, follow up. No means not right now. It doesn't mean no. So yeah, all of that. So good. Okay, we are going to close up here with one final question that is a different question for all of you. You guys, I could talk to you all three all night because you're so good, but we're going to just take a couple more minutes and end with our final question. So I'm going to start with Kelly. I'll start back with you. how or what do you would be your best, and you kind of touched on some of this, but if you have something additional to add, your best tips for being top sales month after month? Like, what is something that you can leave?
Honestly, probably what's helped me the most is the in-home. I've done in-home parties, probably one a month. This like I just had two a month, and that was huge just to kind of throw that in because I think you get so many sales just by doing that. And some of those in-home parties, I'll even have them in my home, like because I don't have to move all my stuff out of my house. I'll just set it up in my home with the other person's having the party at my house, and that's totally fine. So that's something I suggest. I suggest bulk orders. I'm telling you, that's been so huge for my people just because it's easy. They just tell me what they want and I order for them and then I get it all to them. And I mean, they really appreciate that. So that's been huge. And then just be kind and be approachable. I mean, just be you, and I think that's important. So yeah.
Love it. Thank you. That's a great idea to offer your home for a hostess. Like, I've never thought of that. Like, that's super good because a lot of times people don't want to host because they don't want to have it in their house. So
Yep.
that's
and it's easier
really,
for you because then you don't have to drag everything out of your house.
yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I mean, I would, yeah, I would have to like really get my shit in order at my house, but that is really good. I like it. Okay. Let's see, Allison, you being one of the newest directors on our team, what can you share with how you accomplished this? Like, what drove you to like, I'm gonna, because I remember the month you hit and you're like, I mean, I can still hear our messages, and Rachel, you were like, she's doing this, like she is gonna hit it, and you did. So tell us.
Well, honestly, I didn't even know I was really going to hit it. I think it was October that I was closed. And I knew I had to do something different because some of my best customers became discount reps. And so I knew and I have a team, Kelly, but it is not a very big team. And a lot really, I don't have that many that even sell. And so when November came and I had used Shout and I got lots of interest in doing parties, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do 7 parties? I've never had 7 parties and work full time. And I just had started a new role as an HR director. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so balls to the walls, right? I just like hammered and had parties. And then people were booking parties right after that. And one of the gals, I didn't even ask her to be a rep yet. And she said, what are the perks? And I'm like, oh, okay. And she signed up and just turned around, and I don't remember what incentive it was in November, but she hit it. And it was the last day. We had an awesome restock and voila. I mean, I couldn't believe it myself. I hit, director, and I didn't even expect it. And so it is really parties, because to be honest, like I said, I would only do a couple parties. My VIP, I haven't really focused growing. I sit at about like 280. But I knew I had to do something different because some of my best customers were now reps, but that did help me too. I know that. And so I remember listening and hearing that. And yeah, I mean, and actually tonight and the last day, I'm probably pretty close to hitting it, or, the title again, but I'm not going to get it. But I think when the month is happening, I don't think it's going to happen. And then all of a sudden something changes and the numbers go up, and there we are.
Yeah. Love it. It's all in the party. That is for sure. Party, party, party. Okay. Rachel, let's see. Oh, so for you, how have you been able to, so you have a team, so you have an executive team, so you have a large team. You've been able to maintain executive rank, and you've been top sales. How do you do all of that? How do you maintain all of that and stay sane?
Not, but you guys probably know my answer. Just do it. Make up your mind that you're going to do it. There's so much power in what you believe in. Like, not doing it is not an option. When I first started, I was so naive. Other than the fact I had done multiple other direct sales businesses that absolutely failed and flopped miserably, I was bound and determined that I was not going to fail at Zaya. But what that meant to me at that time to not fail was to just make enough to pay myself back the $400 starter kit fee. And so I did not know what I was doing. We didn't have like all these fancy systems in place. We didn't have emails and trainings and things to this level. And so I can remember sitting by the pool, sending, I knew, and maybe I'm weird like this, but I think backwards. Working backwards makes it so clear to me. What did I want to get out of it? I wanted to make my $400 back. What was it going to take to get that? Well, I knew that I had to have parties, because if I had parties, I would be able to make money. And so the only way to have parties is to ask people to have parties. So working backwards, I sent message after message after message, which was hard because nobody likes to ask anybody for anything, right? But just making up my mind that I was going to do it. And that has continued. It's the consistency of holding myself to the standard of I want X number of parties each month, because I like to have X number of dollars come into my bank account every month, right? And so it's just it's not even an option. Just the continual ask. I don't wait for a booking blitz to present itself to ask people to have parties. I mean, I hate to admit, I kind of do wait for a little kick in the pants to ask people about repping. So definitely needs to grow in that area. But it's just a continual part of my daily business tasks that I am sending reach outs. And some of it is in the follow up, like Kelly mentioned, can't wait to hear about how you're loving your order. Great. Let's hook you up with your own event. Sometimes it's in the thank you for an order that I reach out and say, I'm so excited about these pieces. I know you had a great list. More things that you wanted. Let's have an event. It's constantly just filling that calendar with whatever number it is that you want. And I know I've said this before, I book multiple months at a time. I'm not, if I were to get to today and say, okay, I need to now book some February parties, I would be a nervous wreck. Like my February is full. March is almost full. And so I'm giving people 2 or 3 months of an option, but then I'm following up with them in the weeks leading up to, because we might have booked out 2 months in advance, reminding them that I'm super excited for their event that's coming up in April or at the end of March. And so that's something that for me is number one, it's easy to stay in the rhythm if I keep myself in the rhythm of reaching out and asking for parties or whatever it is to you that's important to your business. And number two, as it relates to parties, just continually having a booked calendar and not being afraid to look past the immediate and right now. And something that Allison said that really kind of stuck out to me is she mentioned using shout. And I think that's something that as you look at your business and you go through peaks and valleys, and you have great moments of success, and then you have other things that's like, what the heck is going on? Like I'm doing the same thing that I just did 2 months ago. 2 months ago I knocked it out of the park. Now I can't even get myself off the ground, right? It's having that balance to know you don't have to upset your entire business because something isn't working right now. Right? It's trusting the process that in the end, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, but it's also having good business sense to be open to new ideas, maybe adjusted practices like Allison did. I was noticing my Facebook parties were not, I'd done the same thing for over 4 years and it was not producing the way that it was producing and hadn't been for some time. And so it's being open to saying, what can I do? How can I adjust? And implementing slowly, maybe a different practice. Maybe it's being open to shout and text messages. Maybe it's being open to emailing your customer base, just as another way of trying to reach them and stay connected. So yeah, so just doing it, be consistent every single day, and just being open and also realistic.
Awesome. I love it. Yes. Thank you so much. It's so true too about trying new things if you can't. What does my husband always say? And it drives me nuts. I can't even think of the way he says that, where he's like, if you continue to do the same thing, I'm like, and he's so right. But if you continue to do the same thing, oh, if you're something, what is the saying? If you continue to do the same thing, your results are going to be the same. So trying something different, changing things up is a good thing, because sometimes that's just exactly what you need. So I love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much. You guys were amazing. So many great just tips, tricks, and just kind of a great way to kind of know that we're all in the same place and we all kind of fight the same challenges. And so this was so great. So thank you so much. I'm going to post the recording. But if anybody has any questions real quick for any of these ladies, you guys can unmute. Otherwise, I can let you guys get back to your families, but I appreciate you three so much. You guys were awesome. So amazing. Anybody have any questions? No, everybody's so quiet. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I will get this posted. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
guys, don't miss the call tomorrow. All team call. Don't miss it.